is going on YouTube? But Great Blades here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Kizer Mad Tanto. Start with a measurement on the overall size here. Looking at 8 inches for the total length. Looking at about 3 1/4 for blade length, and then 3 inches on the cutting edge there. Do a measurement on the blade stock thickness here. Oops, sorry. So blade stock thickness, looking at about 120, 130 thousandths, so not too bad. Measure on the excuse me, on the weight here. Weight, looking at about 4.05 ounces, so not terrible. A little bit heavier than the ounce and inch that some people like to prescribe to. Do a size comparison with the where is it? 80/20.5. This one has original goat scales on it. Link them down below. And then the QSP Penguin. Alright, so overall size, we are at a little bit of an angle, but the Mad Tanto is bigger than both. Quite a bit more compared to the QSP Penguin here, and then just a little bit more so than the 20.5. Do a comparison on the thickness and sort of carry profile here. So compared to the 20.5, it is thinner than something like the 20.5. And then compared to the QSP Penguin, we're actually looking at just a little bit thinner than even that, which is surprising to me. I didn't expect it to be that way. Because, I mean, they're not necessarily contoured, I guess, but it's flat, and then there's 2 bevels on the sort of scale here on both the front and back. But it is actually just a tiny bit thinner, which, like I said, is surprising to me. I wouldn't have thought that initially. So materials we have here, we have micarta for the front and the back for both the scales, micarta backspacer as well, steel liner. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that. There is a steel liner on the inside here. It does have a couple of holes milled into it for some weight reduction, but it is micarta bonded to some steel liners. Steel clip, which is fine. Steel hardware as well. Blade steel here on this one is, hold on, I'm a little out of focus, 154 cm, which is plenty fine, especially on something just a little bit over what I would consider budget price here. You know, but not too bad. This is OEM'd by Kizer. It is a Damn Designs collab that they did a couple years ago here now, but I think this is based off one of his models. I'm drawing a blank on the name at the moment, but I'll put that up here. It's the whatever that is, and he normally does frame or liner locks for his knives, but they collaborated and did a button lock on this one. It's okay, it's fine, it works good enough. It is just a typical sort of, I don't know if you can be able to see it, just a plunge lock, so it's not like a button actuated like liner lock, but it is just a plunge lock, but it's not terrible. I mean, and again, especially for sort of near budget, I think this was like $80 or so. It's really not bad. Action's decent enough, you know. When I first got it, it definitely had a little bit of stick to it on the button there, but you know, as you just kind of work it out, you know, fidget with it, open it a bunch of times, it does sort of grow smoother. Yeah, so not too bad on that. Like I said, the pocket clip is just a steel pocket clip. It's fine. Works okay. It actually works pretty well for one-handed in and out of the pocket. I find that typically I don't have any issues with that. Out of focus again. I don't usually have any issues with that, so that's a plus. But you know, it's not doing anything crazy. It's just a stamped and folded clipped. It's nothing crazy. Could you? No. I thought maybe you could use that as like a lanyard spot, but I don't think it's milled all the way out. I think it's just a design element there. I do think that it's kind of cool that the backspacer is also micarta here, but it would have been cool if they did do like even just like a steel one here. I think that just would have been kind of neat, just as an extra pop of, you know, color, or you know, just difference in contrast and texture. But it is micarta and it's fine. Micarta, of course, will start to wear and kind of, you know, develop like a sheen and, you know, a little bit smoother as you use and carry it, which is kind of neat. It'll kind of take on a personality of its own from each individual person based off, you know, how you carry it, how you use it, you know, things like that, the oils in your hands. Some people have real oily hands that kind of just break down stuff like this, you know, brass, copper, things like that. It'll patina and age, which is, you know, just some kind of neat. It did come and has stayed centered here. I did, when I initially got this, I did give it a little bit of a twist on the pivot because it was just a little bit tight when I first got it. But luckily there was no Loctite or anything on it, at least nothing too crazy when I got it, if I recall. But it wasn't too bad. I gave it just a little bit of a turn just to loosen up a little bit. It did stay centered though, which was fine. It was just a little bit tight on the action. And like I said, the button was a little tight, a little crunchy, but that came out as I was using it and stuff like that. Like I said, it was a collaboration with Kizer, so it is made in China, if that's something that, you know, bothers you, or it doesn't. But the blade here is compound ground, so it has a hollow here and then a flat on the tip and the swedge up here, so that'll give you some nice thickness towards the tip than if it was just all hollow ground. Sorry about the sirens in the background there, but yeah, I kind of like that, you know, compound tanto look. I think that's one of my more favorite blade shapes and grinds to have on it. I just think it looks nicer, and like I said, it gives you a little bit more thickness towards the tip. Not that you should be prying with your knives, but it'll give it a little bit more strength towards that tip, in case you need to get through some thicker materials. It is just a flipper / button lock only. There are no thumb studs, which is fine. Thumb studs on this design, you know, probably go somewhere about here. It would be behind the choil or maybe just near it, so it probably wouldn't get too much in your cutting path, but I think it's fine that they didn't include them. If you wanted to, though, I'm sure you could drill through it and add some studs of your own if you really prefer. Like I said, it does have that forward finger choil, which is nice. It can choke up on there, and it does have jimping on the top, you know, a good amount, so you can your thumb kind of rests there naturally, and you can, you know, really lock in here. In terms of ergonomics, it is a little suggestive on where it wants you to place your fingers, at least your index finger. The rest is just kind of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not sure. Anyways, but you know, you place your index finger there, and then the rest kind of just wherever behind it. I do wish that the only thing with the micarta is you can't, at least as far as I'm aware, really give it meaningful traction with like jimping here, because eventually it would just wear away because it is a material that does wear. That's the only thing I do wish, is maybe they somehow were able to incorporate like a little steel liner at the top here just for some extra jimping, because back here it's pretty smooth, especially like I said, as you use it it'll smooth out, but there is that jimping on the top of the spine, so I guess it's not really a big deal. But yeah, ergonomically it's comfortable for me. I don't have any issues with it. You feel the pocket clip maybe just a teeny tiny bit if you choke back a little bit more, but up front, when you're using it with the finger trail, it's not, you don't feel it at all. I have smaller hands, so this feels fine to me. I have a little bit of extra space here, but if you have average, maybe more like above average, but if you have like XL glove and above, this might be a little on the smaller side for you, but it is comfortable for me. Yeah, and they have made, since this one came out, they did another collab with him. It's essentially the same thing, just a different blade shape. I think it's a drop point instead. I think that one's called the Invictus. But they were, pretty much the same price point. I think that one was satin. Maybe this one had a satin option as well. I can't recall. But for around 80 bucks, I think you can't really go wrong with it. It's decent enough, and it's fidgety, so if you have that sort of monkey brain, as a lot of others, here in the knife collecting world do, then yeah, I think you'd be interested in this. I'm not sure that I really have a whole lot else to say. It's pretty simple. It's nothing too crazy in terms of what it's doing and what it is. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below of the Kizer Mad Tanto. Did you pick this up when it dropped a couple years ago? Did you pick up the more recent one, the drop point one? Like I said, I think that one was called the Invictus. What do you think about button locks, especially plunge locks in this case? And just, what do you guys think in general? Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because I'll be posting more content here as always. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.